Hello, this is Flying Flapper and welcome to round 6 of the Imola Grand Prix. 2 sprint races. This is the first sprint race as we got Neo Stig on pole ahead of Neil, Bidstar, TY, Flying Flapper, Jamo and the rest as we get underway. And of course very packed grid start, and there's contact already between Flapper and Jamo, and Flying Flapper flies into the barrier as Bidstar loses it on turn 1 as well. So all going off within the first 10 seconds of this race. 3 of the top 5 crashing out. So let's ride on board with Flying Flapper to look at the replay, see exactly what happened. And you can see that Jamo's on the right side, he comes across, so does Flapper. Both, wanting the same piece of tarmac. Flapper comes out of it worse though, definitely going into the barrier. But let's have a look at Jamo. So as you can see, there's a bit of a gap between them, but then they both go into the middle and they both receive a bit of contact. And like I say, Jamo taking up the signs but gets away with it really, with Flapper going straight into the wall. So let's ride aboard with Bidstar. I believe he did spin out, but let's just check just to see if there was any contact. TY goes through, and yeah, Bidstar just loses the rear, spins out onto the grass. So that was a driver error. So we ride back on board with Neo Stig, and Neil goes up the inside to take first place from Neo Stig. Of course, Stig is not going to give up from here, but Neil caught Neo sleeping there as we ride on board with Jamo, fighting it with Blakeney, going into the Villeneuve chicane, and Blakeney taps Jamo out wide. Jamo has to go across the sand trap. So let's have a look at the replay on board with Jamo. And you can see Blakeney on the right side, and as they turn in, there's no way that Blakeney was going to give space to Jamo there, and kind of sideswipes him really. So quite unlucky there for Jamo. But anyways, we ride back on board with Neo Stig just behind Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack is the leader in terms of points in the GT3 Championship. So this will be an important win if he can actually grab it. But Neo Stig has got pace. This is his first race of the championship, but showing already that he's a danger to the rest of the guys as he looks to get up the inside, and that looks like a bit of lag there as he gets through the chicane. But we will need to look at the replay just to see exactly what happened there. But it looked like it was a bit of lag that helped Stig through the chicane and move back into first place. So yeah, Neo Stig goes out wide onto the grass again. I don't know if that's lag or he meant to do that. But as we go into the chicane, it looks like he's going to pass the chicane and then magically sort of turns in, and then you heard all the contact in the background. So unlucky there for Neil really, because I'm sure on Neo Stig's screen he had no lag at all. But as we go into the chicane again, yeah, you can see that Neo Stig was going to go across the grass and then magically turned in, and then there was a few bits of contact there between the two, and Neil has to let him through. So back on board with Neil as we end the first lap and on to lap 2. So Neil Farmack 7/10 behind Neo Stig as we go into the Tamburella chicane with Stevie in 3rd position and TY in 4th, and Neil Farmack goes out wide. Surely this is going to give the opportunity for Stevie to get into 2nd position if he can hold his nerve, and yes, he does take 2nd position. It's actually good driving there from Stevie, and he's got the inside line as well, so don't think there's anything that Neil can do about it, although Neil's not going to give up without a fight. But Stevie does take the inside line and doesn't hit Neil at all, so he has got 2nd outright. And as we go into the left-hand bend, Stevie's still got the inside line for the upcoming 2 corners, so surely this will be 2nd place for Stevie, and indeed it is. And there's more contact between Neil and TY, of course, teammates for Team Blue, as we ride aboard with Flying Flapper in 9th position, just behind Jamo. They're side by side going down the straight, Hopefully this time there'll be no contact between the two of them. Hopefully they have learnt their lesson. But as we approach the Tamburello chicane, who's going to come out on top? It's Flying Flapper. Flying Flapper gets through into 8th position. Jamo did back off a bit there, and Flying Flapper can now start attacking Blakeney, who's in 7th position. So they're side by side going into the Villeneuve chicane, and Flying Flapper goes through quite easily in the end, taking the inside line and into P7. So we've got Blakeney just in front of Jamo, just behind. We've got Sequan in 6th and Footman in 5th as well, so they're all doing really, really well there. But let's ride back on board with Neil Farmer as we see TY spin out on the toss-up chicane, or the two last corners of the lap. Big mistake there from TY, and actually finds himself behind Footman, although they are side by side as they go down the pit wall straight. And again, who is going to come out on top before we get to turn 1? So TY and Footman, it's looking like Footman is going to get the inside line and grab 3rd place. And sorry, TY spins out and there's carnage behind. So let's have a look at the replay, see exactly what happened. So we ride on board with Sequan. We can see the Footman and TY battle unfold. And as we break into turn 1, TY loses the rear, and then there's a contact from behind. I think it's Flying Flapper, but I don't think Flying Flapper could avoid it. But let's have a look from Flying Flapper's angle. So as we turn in, yeah, absolutely no chance there for Flying Flapper to stop the car there. Kind of on the blind side, really. But anyway, so as we ride on board Flying Flapper, he's not giving up. He's trying to regain the positions he's lost as he gets up the inside of Jamo and gets through. Meanwhile, Blakeney has gone way too deep into the second part of the Villeneuve chicane, so he loses out on a few positions there. Blakeney's got a bit absolutely gutted there because he was making good progress, although still finds himself in 7th position, just behind Flapper and Jamo in 5th and 6th respectively. And is there going to be any more incidents? Well, Blakeney does go pretty wide out of the left-hander there. But trying to fend off Callum and Sequan. Meanwhile, we are riding on board with Flying Flapper. Jamo right on his gearbox and then pulls to the right-hand side. Flapper's going to have the inside line though, so he should get through pretty safely, which he does, and pretty much cements that 5th position, unless obviously he makes more mistakes. But as we ride down the hill into the Verente Outer, I can't pronounce that, to be honest. Yeah, it takes that quite nicely as we ride on board TY just behind Footman, I believe. No, sorry, just behind Callum. My mistake. With Sequan just behind as well. Callum goes out wide. That means that TY should go and grab 8th position, which he does. Sequan will try and follow behind as well as he's side by side by Callum, but he does nip in front to take 9th position away from Callum. Although Callum, I'm sure, is not going to give up without a fight as we lead up to the Tamburello chicane. And Sequan goes a bit deep, nearly contact with TY, but gets away with it. And as they exit the Tamburello chicane, Callum is weaving about, just letting Sequan know that I'm still there. Meanwhile, Bidster is on the back of Callum as well, so let's ride on board the Bidster as he's trying to get over his terrible start. He goes up the inside of Callum to grab the 10th position, so well done there to Bidster. And, you know, I mean, to be honest, Bidster is one of the favourites in all these races. I think he's 3rd in the championship as well, so he'll be really looking to grab a few more places and trying to get a few more points on the board, as we saw Sequan go wide. But yeah, we ride back on board with Flying Flapper, who's just behind Footman for the battle for 4th position. And Flapper is showing the speed of the top three, to be honest, with the last lap 146.6, with Footman with 49.5. And Footman goes a bit deep into the last corner, and Flapper says, "Thank you very much, I will take 4th position." So we ride on board with TY, and also Blaney goes wide as well on the same corner, and surely TY will grab 7th position onto the straight, although I heard a little bit of contact there. Oh, there we go, as we see it, Blakeney on the inside of him. So there was a little bit of contact, but they've wisely sort of given each other space. Blakeney using the draft of TY, but let's see if TY has made the stick, and he has done indeed, so he does officially take 7th position. And then we've got Bidster behind them two in 9th position, with Sequan and Callum hot on his tail as well, as we go into the Villeneuve chicane. And he takes that very nicely indeed. And meanwhile, I think that's Jamo. Jamo's clearly made a mistake there at the end of the Villeneuve chicane, and so now he's embroiled in this 4-way battle now for 8th position as we ride up the hill and go through the Piratelli, or the Piratella, I think it's called. But yes, just behind Jamo. Can he put enough pressure on Jamo for him to make a mistake? No, Jamo takes that nice. So in the distance you can see TY, then it's Blakeney, then it's Jamo, Bidster, Sequan and Callum. Oh my god, as Jamo swerves a little bit on the exit of the chicane there. But we ride on board with Callum Paul Banks as he looks to get up the outside of Sequan, is in contact with Sequan as well. Sequan has gone spinning off onto the grass and onto the gravel as well, and Callum takes 10th position, although, you know, to be honest, very responsible for that bit of contact as we ride aboard with Jamo just behind Blakeney and fight for 7th position. As you see Jamo's bumper. Oh my god, and there's contact between Jamo and Blakeney, and also Bidster as well. What a massive crash that is. Let's have a look at the replay and see exactly what happened there. Was not ready for that at all. So we ride on board with Jamo in 8th position just behind Blakeney, and everything looks okay for now, but then Blakeney starts coming across, probably doesn't see Jamo, and then there's instant contact there. They both sort of stick together like magnets, and then Blakeney gets taken out by Bidster, which I don't think he could have done anything about, to be honest. But let's have a look at Blakeney this time, just to confirm what exactly happened. So yeah, he's coming across like almost like diagonally, and Jamo's just trying to stay on track, and then he gets smashed by Bidster in the process as well. And if damage was on now, that would have been instant death, surely. So last but not least, we'll look behind Bidster's car as well, so you can see the battle unfold in front of him. And I've got to say, it's probably got to be Blakeney's fault there. And like I say, Bidster, he could not avoid that accident. I mean, that was just head on. But anyway, we roll back on with Neil Farmack and Stevie Q. Stevie Q in 2nd and Neil Farmack in 3rd. There's only about 5 tenths between them. So having a good old battle at the top. Not used to seeing Stevie that high up, I have to be honest. So he's doing really, really well in this race. And Neil looking to basically spoil the party and try and grab that 2nd position back from Stevie. But so far so good from Stevie. He's been very tidy around the circuit, and like I say, you got to be driving well if you're keeping Neil Farmack behind you. So. But yeah, the gap between Neo Stig and Stevie is getting ever so big. It's now 13 seconds as we go round the hairpin. And again, Stevie takes that nicely. But yeah, it's at this stage, it's looking like Neo Stig is going to win this race with 6 laps gone, so more than half the race gone. And 13 seconds are a heck of a lot of a gap to try and close. So you really hope Neo-Stig's going to make a mistake. As just talking about mistakes, Stevie Q has just gone way too deep and into the gravel trap, and he loses his second place to Neil Farmack, with Stevie dropping down to third. And then we see Flying Flapper in the background as well, so Stevie can't afford to make too many mistakes now, as Flying Flapper looks to close that gap. And then I say that, and then Flying Flapper loses the rear on the chicane, getting a little bit too greedy on the curbs. And even Flying Flapper's got to be careful now, because Footman is just behind, with TY a couple of seconds behind Footman as well. So it is definitely hotting up now, and the pack is starting to close in a little bit, or certainly between third and sixth anyway. As we ride on board with TY in sixth position, and really looking to put Footman under pressure as we go down the pit lane straight. As you see, that gap is coming down. In fact, it's only about 4 tenths now. So as we go into the Tamburello chicane, Footman goes deep, and that's an easy pass for TY to move up into 5th place, and to then start concentrating on catching up with Flying Flapper, who's another 3 seconds down the road. So we ride back on board with Stevie Q in 3rd position. He's got an 8-second gap to Flying Flapper. Oh God, and he's lost. Yes, he has lost it. He spun the car all the way round, and where is Flying Flapper? Because he must be pretty close. Indeed he is. Flapper is probably only about 2 seconds down the road, and that gap is closing all the time as well. So we were saying about Stevie, like, not making the mistake. Well, he's made one there, and now he's really under a lot of pressure to try and hold it together and keep that 3rd position. But up until that point, or up until the 2 little spins he's had, Stevie was showing some really good pace around the circuit. But I'm sure Flying Flapper is going to put him under immense pressure now, and it's just whether or not Stevie can, whether or not he will cave into that pressure, or he will hold his nerve and take that 3rd position. As we saw Flying Flapper lose a bit of traction out of the same chicane that he lost it on the previous lap. But anyway, we ride on board with Jamo in 9th position. He's looking to take 8th position from Sequan, as Sequan has got the inside line, Jamo's got the outside. So Sequan looks more favourite to take that position, but then saying that, Sequan being very respectful, giving Jamo lots of space through the chicane, and Jamo, looks like Jamo is going to take 8th position, is he? Oh God, it's tight. Sequan just got his nose in front, and I think Jamo did back off in the end to let Sequan through. So I'm sure maybe Jamo was thinking of the long game and thinking, well, I'm going to force a mistake out of Sequan. But we'll wait and see. But as we go down the pit lane straight again to complete lap 8 with 4 more laps to go. Sequan get on the brakes well enough? Yes, he can. It's good driving there. But Jamo only, what, 4 or 5 tenths behind. He's definitely going to keep the pressure on, and this is quite an interesting battle, to be honest. We'll have to see what comes from this as we go into the Tosa or Tosa chicane, and there's contact, and I think Sequan actually lost the rear in mid-entrance into the corner, and Jamo couldn't do anything about it. He had nowhere to go, and there was a slight tap, but nothing untoward as Jamo grabs 8th position. So we ride back on board the Flying Flapper, trying to close that gap on Stevie. That gap has come down to about 5 or 6 tenths now. So Flapper really applying the pressure now on Stevie. Stevie really has to raise his A game now, and hope it'll be good enough for him to claim the last podium spot. So as we come across the line to complete lap 9 and enter lap 10, as we approach the Tamburello chicane, can see there, Flying Flapper really going aggressive over the curbs. Really hunting down Stevie now. As obviously we've only got 3 laps to go until the end, so Flapper's going to make a move. It most surely must be now. So as we go into the Tozer hairpin, Stevie goes a little bit wide. There's a slight bit of contact, but Flapper goes up the inside. Surely his favourite to take Stevie here, since he's got the inside line for the next corner. So Stevie does give Flapper a bit of space, and that's neat and tidy from Flying Flapper, and he does take third position. Can he now hold on to third and even try to close the gap on Neil? Probably running out of laps here as Flapper goes a bit slow, and Stevie Q kind of cuts the corner there a little bit, but gets away with it. But they're side by side going into the chicane, but Flapper has got the inside line, and he comes out of that very nicely. So got to say that, you know, with Flapper pulling out a bit of a gap to Stevie, Stevie has to be wary of TY just behind now, only like half a second behind as well. So of course Stevie would love to catch up with Flapper again, but has to sort of keep half an eye open for TY as well. Otherwise he could actually get the double whammy and actually lose fourth and go down to fifth. So, but you can see how tight it is. TY using the draft from Stevie's car as we approach the Tamburello chicane again on this penultimate lap. And Stevie goes a little bit slow through there, and that really does give the opportunity for TY to either make a move or definitely apply the pressure. I think he backs out of trying to make a move, but I would say that he probably will make a move very soon as we go into the Tozer hairpin. Stevie getting a lot of that curb, and Stevie losing the rear, and yes, into the barrier as well. Absolute disaster there for Stevie. So let's go on board with Stevie in the cockpit view, and you can see he went over the curb, which really unstable the car, and you could do nothing about it when trying to get on the power, and he just goes straight into the wall. And Stevie's got to be really gutted about that. You know, up to second place at one point, down to fifth, although fifth will still be a good result for him, nevertheless. But still, what could have been, though, eh? But anyway, let's ride on board with Footman 3 in P6. And we've got Bidster in the background as well. So Bidster, you know, after a very poor start, is starting to close that gap on Footman as we ride on board with Flying Flapper in third position, just ahead of TY, who is now in fourth position. We're on lap 11 out of 12, and this will be the best result of the championship for Flying Flapper if he does manage to hold on to third position. He actually didn't come into the championship until about round 4, but yeah, this will be his best result if he can keep it. As we looked at Neo Stig, who's got a massive 22-second lead over Neil Farmack. So you got to say that Neo's got to be favourite now to get the race win. But we ride back on board with Flying Flapper and the TY battle. And TY has closed the gap slightly. He's down to about a second now. So as we exit the Villeneuve chicane and round to the Tozer hairpin, where Stevie Q lost it on the previous lap, and no dramas out of there so far. But with only, you know, a few corners to go, well, more than a few corners, but a limited amount of corners to go. We've got a fancy Flying Flapper to grab third place, unless he does make a mistake. But as we go up the hill, Flapper does go a little bit wide, and he has to compromise on speed as TY looks to go around the outside of him, approaching the sharp chicane. But Flapper has got the inside line. There is slight contact there between Flapper and TY, but wow, TY nearly loses the rear of the car, just manages to keep it. But yeah, we ride on board with Neo Stig, going around the final corner for the final time. His first race of the season, and he's got the fastest lap. He's got pole position in qualifying as well, and he's about to cross the line to win the Imola Grand Prix Sprint 1. So well done to Neo Stig, as we see Neil Farmack in second place. Like I say, a huge 23 seconds behind Neo Stig, but he's the leader in the GT3 Championship, and he's ahead of his rivals, so you got to say that's good points earned there from Neil Farmack. So well done to him too. And then we see Flying Flapper in the background to claim the last podium spot, so well done to Flying Flapper as well, with TY just behind him in fourth. We got Stevie Q, looks like he's going to finish with fifth, so a good result for Stevie as well. Sixth place is Footman, again his first race of the of this league season, so good result for Footman. Seventh for Bidster, which is a bit disappointing for him, probably his worst result of the championship. Then we got Sequan in 8th, 9th is Blakeney, 10th is Jamo, 11th is Lil Yam, and 12th is Callum, but I think he retired, and 13th was Keith, but he also retired as well. So that does round up the positions for this race, and I have to say, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the race. If you have, please do hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more racing content from myself, then please do subscribe to the channel as well. And look out for race 2, because that will be in another video, and I promise you it is a very action-packed race. So look out for that, and I'll see you next time.